Hi class, today we're going to talk about the inquiry letter that you write for your final project. The purpose of writing an inquiry letter is to get information that will help you with information that you need for your final topic. So you would need to write this letter to someone specific who knows something about what your topic is going to be about. Let's refer to the plant-based diet because I've been using that for an example on the other videos that I posted. Let's say you need to find out if doctors would actually prescribe a plant-based diet as a treatment method for their patients. So find a doctor, preferably more than one doctor, that you can write this letter to and request a response, telling them that you've done research that shows that plant-based diet, for instance, if you wrote a letter to a nephrologist who's a kidney doctor, you could say that you have discovered through your research that you have found that being on a fully plant-based diet could prevent patients from having to go on dialysis. And if that's so, would the doctor consider prescribing a plant-based diet to their patients for to prevent having to be on dialysis? It's not a new concept. It's actually a very, very old concept that in the past, in history, when people ate basically plant-based diets, they didn't have the kind of problems that we have nowadays physically that have to be treated with medication and people die from all the time. So it would be an interesting thing to find out if you can get doctors to actually write and say either they would or they wouldn't prescribe a plant-based diet for treatment. And you can use that for information when you're writing your final project. So whatever your topic is, think of people who would be directly involved in it, that would know something about your topic, that they can give you information that would help you with your argument that you have in your final project, and ask them for a reply. And the reply could be that they write you a letter back, or that you could set up a phone call and you could get a transcription of the phone call, or even you could set up an interview and use the person for an interview for one of the interviews that you do. The key here is to make it relevant to your final project. And sending the letter that you come up with to more than one person will hopefully increase your chances of getting an actual response that you can use in your final project. Now, when you submit this, submit me a copy of the inquiry letter that you send out and send it to somebody specific. When you actually do your final project, you'll put a copy of the letter and then you'll put a copy of the response that you got or that you didn't get by the letter, and hopefully you'll get a response and you'll be able to include the information that you received from doing that. So that's basically it for the letter. It's not a hard part of the assignment. It's very important that your letter is written in a business letter format. You can find examples of that in your book. It's very important that you proofread and edit carefully. You're much more likely to get a response if your letter looks professional. If you send it with lots of grammatical errors or spelling errors or comma errors, sentence errors, all that sort of thing, they're not likely to be taken seriously. So make sure that you do a very, very good job, that the whole group has a chance to proofread and edit, that you really agree on what you're going to send out before you send it out, and then actually mail the letters. That's the whole thing here, to get the experience with the letter. So as always, email me with questions that you have. When you get your letter written, email it to me to submit it. On your rubric, the credit that you get for the letter will be from the letter that you submit at this point. And the things like your letters, your purpose statements that you submitted last week, all those things will go into the development of your final project grade. But the individual letter grade for your letter will come from what you submit to me now. So let me know if you have questions, and have a good time with this, and enjoy kind of the beauty here of Hawaii. I decided to come outside today to show you a little bit of how gorgeous it is where we live. So I look forward to reading your letters, and have fun with this. Aloha!